Welcome eTeachers to this section of our training course, Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is an educational app that allows you to use any video as an independent lesson for language learning, whether it's a flipped class, modeling language, or revision. You can easily add text or audio, notes, questions, or even link other resources to the video. The teacher's supervision and monitoring platform is fantastic. eTeachers has long considered Edpuzzle a top resource for the effective evaluation of students' learning, but it actually does a lot more. Edpuzzle has many added value features, and all the features we introduce in this course are in the free version. So let's get started and have a closer look at Edpuzzle. Go to edpuzzle.com, and then here will be the home page. To sign up, click this button, and then you should choose your role. I'm a teacher. And then Edpuzzle will ask you to sign up with either a Google or Microsoft account. I'm going to sign up with my Google account, then enter my Gmail account password. As you know, Google often uses double verification. Okay, I'll receive the code and move on. Once I'm logged in, I'll be given the option to choose a password for my Edpuzzle account. And of course it's optional because it's already secured by logging in with Google, so you don't actually need to do that. I'll agree to the terms of service and privacy policy here and create my new account. Now we've created our Edpuzzle account. Let's set it up. For example, here I need to put the school that I'm in, so I'll put the Education University of Hong Kong. That's the school, and here I can click Continue to go to the next Setup option. I'll also add the grade level and the subject that I'm teaching. I'll say grade 10 and English here, and if I'm teaching multiple grade levels or subjects, I can click this to add another option. So I'll also choose 12th grade, and for this one I'll choose English again. Now I'll click Start Teaching to finish setting up my account. Notice that Edpuzzle has sent me an email to verify the account. So I'll go to my Gmail account and I can see Edpuzzle has asked me for verification. So I click that to verify, and then I click Get Started. So we are brought here to the dashboard of our Edpuzzle account. To get started, you'll need to choose which video you'll be using for your lesson. To do that, go to the right corner here and click Add Content. This is how it all gets started. Of course, you will know many good videos that you can use. They may be on YouTube, they may be of your own creation. You can use any videos to create a lesson with Edpuzzle. You have the option to discover video content, which means that you can search videos from various sources provided by Edpuzzle, or alternatively, upload the video from your own computer. You even have the option to record a video within Edpuzzle if you like. Let's look at the first option first, which is Discover Video Content. When you log into your account, this Discover page is actually the Edpuzzle Control Panel landing page, so it will look familiar. In my Edpuzzle lesson, I'm going to teach my students a bit about the life and character of Confucius. So here I could search Confucius and click Search. Now you'll see Edpuzzle has provided us with a wide variety of video options about Confucius. We can scroll down to explore those. If there are too many options, you can choose a filter from the buttons Subject, Grade Level, Country, and Source at the top here, each with drop-down menus. For example, I'm going to add the filter English, and here I'll choose the grade level 10 and also the 12th grade that I'm teaching. I could also choose the country, but I don't think I need to limit that for this video, so I won't choose that one. I also have a filter for the video source, which is whether I prefer a video hosted from Edpuzzle or from YouTube. So these filters have helped, and I've narrowed down the videos to just 9 or 10, so I'm quite satisfied with that. Now I can choose one of them to preview to see if it's the kind of video I'm looking for. Of course, you'll want to consider your own criteria, such as the content, the language used, the level of difficulty, etc. Of course, the length of the video is an important factor as well, but note that you can adjust the length of the segment you use from within Edpuzzle, as I'll show you later. So if otherwise the video is perfect, don't worry if it's too long. You can simply use one portion or segment. Okay, I'll preview this video first to see if I can use it. I can pause the video here or replay it here. If we need subtitles, we can enable them by clicking CC here and choosing English. We can also adjust the volume, and here we can zoom in to see the video in full screen. We'll see how to add our own questions to an Edpuzzle video soon. But as a convenient and time-saving resource, you can easily click the video versions created by other Edpuzzle users here below. You can see here are some versions of this video created by their usernames, Cheryl, Roberto, Liam, etc. Next to each name is a question tab icon showing how many questions those users have added to the video. There are also similar video recommendations shown below. If you decide to use another user's questions and those fit your needs, you can just click to use it straight away. So I can choose Cheryl's video, for example, with 10 questions, which are time-stamped and listed on the right-hand side here. And I can use the video straight away for my class as it is. If I choose to do that, I would assign it here. Or if I want to make some modifications, I could edit her video to tailor it for my own students and teaching objectives. So this search tool is a great resource in Edpuzzle, but the video you want to use cannot always be found already there on Edpuzzle or in YouTube. So next, let's take a look at how to add content by uploading your own video to Edpuzzle to use as a part of your lesson. Here I can upload a video. Note that for Edpuzzle your video has to be smaller than 1 gigabyte, so don't exceed that limit. Of course, you can always modify it to a smaller file. To upload my video, I can choose a file from my own hard drive, such as my desktop, or I can choose to upload it to my Google Drive if I've stored the video there. Of course, as a workaround, e-teachers will know that you could take your own video and upload it to YouTube first, and then link it from there. But I did want to share how to upload directly to Edpuzzle because there is an advantage, as we'll see later, when it comes to giving audio notes. So I'm going to choose to upload another video introducing Confucius from my own hard drive. Let's give Edpuzzle just a moment to upload it. After you've uploaded the video, it will probably need some time to process, which is similar to any video platform you use, including YouTube. So we'll give it another moment. Okay, now the video has been processed successfully. So we can click on it here, and we have the same features on our video as the ones we selected from Edpuzzle earlier. We can click here to preview. You can pause the video or replay it if you like, adjust the volume, or zoom in to see the video in full screen. Now that I've decided to use this video for my lesson, I'll want to edit it and add my own questions. This is the magic of Edpuzzle. So click Edit here, and you'll be taken to the Edpuzzle video editing panel. First of all, before we make any changes to the video, let's give it a title. On the left here in the title bar, you can see the name of the video we uploaded. It's called Introducing Confucius. If you want to make any changes, you can type your title there and choose Save Title. I'm going to keep the title as it is for now, so I'll just hit Cancel. This is now the title of my Edpuzzle video. So now I can start to preview my video and add my own edits. First, we'll look at the trim feature, which is very convenient for selecting just the portion of the video that you want to use for your lesson. As I mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter how long your original video is because you can trim it to the length that you want. This is where you do that. To trim the video, you can hold and drag the edge of this play bar to the right. I'm going to drag it here, for example, where the little leaf character introduces Confucius. You can also drag the edge on the right side to the left to trim the video from the end to shorten it and change where the video will conclude. Now, that's trimming the beginning and end of the video. To add a cut in the middle of your video, as opposed to trimming the start or finish, drag just the vertical pin line here without grabbing the edge and move it to your end point. That is the end point where you want the cut to begin, and click Add Cut here. You'll see the video play bar has now been cut into two and handles have been added. So now you can drag these edges to trim the video further, just as we saw before. To undo your trims or cuts, you can simply click this undo button right here, and that will undo your changes one by one each time you click it. If, on the other hand, you want to reset the video to its original condition, just starting all over again, just click this reset button here. So that is the trim and cut function of Edpuzzle Edits. Very convenient for selecting just the portion of the video you want to show your students in this activity. Now, the next feature we'll look at is how to add a voice recording overlay to your video. That is here in VoiceOver. There are many reasons this might be very useful. So imagine you're showing a video in your classroom. Of course, you can always pause it to talk, or you can just talk over the video while it's showing. Now Edpuzzle gives you that power to speak to the students while they're listening to the video on their own time or for homework. You may, for example, want to explain or add some information to the video which is not in the video itself, such as some direct instructions to the students about the assignment that you're giving, or some additional information about the content, or modeling some language which is in evidence in the video. It could be commentary or explanation, and so there's many reasons, of course. You might even want to give a quick L1 clarification in Cantonese or the student's language if their foundation is weak and you want to ensure that this is comprehensible input. Okay, so very useful feature. However, please remember that this particular VoiceOver feature is only available when you upload a video to the Edpuzzle platform and not when you link directly to a YouTube video. This is why we wanted to show you how to upload a video a moment ago. So this is to comply with YouTube's terms of service, and they'll tell you if you try to record over a YouTube video, and so you have this alternative to upload to Edpuzzle. Even if it's a YouTube video, of course, a workaround would be to download the video and then upload it to Edpuzzle again. We won't get into that right now. But let me show you how VoiceOver works for a video that you have uploaded to Edpuzzle. You have already clicked VoiceOver from the menu of the three edits, Cut, VoiceOver, and Questions. Now that you're here, you can see a bar like in Cut, but here it simply has the vertical pin icon without the video bar. So you'll want to drag the pin to the point in the video where your voice will be added. I'll add my voice here before the story begins to draw my students' attention to the assignment. Now to start recording my voice overlay, I'll go to the right and click Start Recording here. The first time you do that, you may get a pop-up window telling you that Edpuzzle wants to access your microphone, so just click Allow. You'll notice the Record button then shows the number of seconds recording and becomes a Stop Recording button. Click Stop Recording when you're done, and you'll see that your audio will be saved here. You can click the play button here to listen to your recording. You can pause it, or if you want to do it again, you can click the trash can icon to delete it. So it might take more than one take. You have a lot of flexibility. To record the audio again, let's drag this icon back to where we were and give it another go. Hello students, today we're going to learn about the well-known Chinese educator Confucius. Remember to listen carefully, and while you're watching the video, answer the questions as they pop up. Be sure to listen to the entire video and answer all the questions. Okay, enjoy it. Once again, when you click Stop Recording, it'll be saved automatically to your Edpuzzle account, and we can click here to review the video recording, and if you're good with it, we can leave it there. Next, let's look at what most teachers think is the raison d'etre, the sine qua non, the pièce de résistance of Edpuzzle, this great questions feature. Now there are 3 types of question buttons indicated here on the right: multiple choice question, open-ended question, and note. Let's look at the characteristics of these 3 options one at a time. First, let's look at the multiple choice question option. To get started, click the multiple choice question button here, and immediately you'll see a question writing template open up. But before we enter our question, let's drag the audio pin icon to the point in the video where we want our question to pop up. I would recommend watching the video first, of course, and noting the time in the video when you want each of your questions to pop up. Then you can write your question and just cut and paste it into the template. After I have typed or pasted my question, notice that above the text I have all the normal word-like editing options. I can make it bold, or italics, or underline. Even better, I can also add a link to my question or upload an image as part of the question, which can be very useful in language teaching to share extended resources. For now, I'm just going to type the first 2 optional answers here. Option 1 and option 2. To add another option, I'll just click the plus add another answer choice here, and I'll add optional answer 3, and I'll do the same thing again to add a 4th and final option here. Now we'll stop with 4, but you can add as many answers as you like. I've tested it up to 20 answers, so I know it will make at least that many, and I don't think English teachers will ever need more than that, so you're going to be all set. All right. These will be our 4 options. After you've added them, you'll see a notice. You'll have to select at least one right answer. So let's do that. To select a correct response, click the green check mark, meaning right answer, below the red cross, which is chosen by default, which means wrong answer. We can even have 2 correct answers or more than 2. If we want to make it incorrect again, we just click the red cross again. So now we have 3 incorrect responses and 1 correct response as originally intended. Now, teachers know that students can learn a lot from feedback. So if you want to provide feedback on either correct or incorrect responses or both, you can click the feedback icon in the corner here and add it to your response. I'll just add an encouraging word to our correct response here just to demo this. But you can add any substantive response or details to right or wrong answers as suits your own teaching objectives. You can also format your feedback here. You can add a link or even add an image. I'll upload an image to my feedback, or I can just paste a link if I have one. For fun, I have this nice image here. Very well done. So I'm going to open it, and here I can adjust its size. I'm going to adjust it to 200 so you can see the ratio is fixed, and so the height will be adjusted automatically as well. To insert the image, click OK, and soon you'll see that the image is inserted into this optional answer as my feedback. So that is the question options and feedback. When you're done, be sure to click Save here. Now we can preview this question and feedback. If we want to edit the question or the feedback, click the pencil icon. If we want to delete this question, just click on the trash bin icon to remove it altogether. Alright, so that's the first question type that we've included in our video. Now I'm going to add another multiple choice question to the video as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is to start here. Again, I can drag the icon to where I want to add the question. Okay, I've scrolled around to find the point I want to add this question, and I'll add some answers as before. Remember to choose the correct response by clicking the green check mark, and you can leave the other options as incorrect with the red cross. I'll also leave the same feedback here for the correct question that I used before, and click Save. So now you can see from the guide bar on the left that we've created a voiceover and 2 multiple choice questions. Next, I'm going to show you how to create open-ended questions as well. To begin, once again, scroll the pointer to where you want to insert your next question. So I've found the point that I want to add my question, so I leave the pointer there. Then I go to the right and select the second option, open-ended question, here. Here I'll type my question. Actually, I like to just cut and paste the text from my teaching materials, but of course you can just type it directly into the question pane. So this is my question. Now notice that this button, Allow Audio Responses, will allow your students to answer by audio, by speaking. Again, what a great feature for English teachers. This simple button gives students an opportunity to speak English as their answer in their own time and to practice speaking in a context that is highly relevant to the lesson. You can even require them to answer in audio if you want them to practice their speaking more often. Okay, that's my first open-ended question sample. Remember to click Save. Now let me show you how to add another question. But instead of scrolling to a new location, I'm going to add it in the same place in the video as my previous question. By doing that, students will have to answer one question right after the next. This, of course, can be a very useful feature, for example, to use at the end of a video, where you might want to ask multiple questions as a review or to get more summative feedback. Okay, to add another question at the same spot, let's go to the bottom right-hand corner here, where you'll see Add Another Question or Note, and click the appropriate option to add your additional question. I'm going to add another open-ended question. Now for this one, I want my students to give examples of how a good host should treat their guests. Again, I'll enable it with this button, so my students can submit an audio response as an option, which is really one of my favorite features here. When answering open-ended questions, students will be given the option of writing or speaking. Of course, like open-ended text questions, you should remember, and unlike multiple choice questions, Edpuzzle cannot mark the answers for you. You'll have to check them one by one, and we'll look at how to do that a bit later. Okay, because this question touches on general education and character, here in the feedback I'm going to provide, I can actually invite my students to watch a video. so they can understand better how to be a good host. So I'll write our feedback here. We'll ask students to watch the video. So let's select this word, this, and then click the URL link to leave a link to the video we've chosen. This is my video that I will insert as a part of the feedback. If students then don't know how to respond to this question, they can look at the feedback, watch this video, how to be a good host, and get some inspiration or ideas for it. So this is really a great example of assessment for learning in action. And assessment can really support and benefit the students as they progress through the video here. Not just give informative feedback to you as the teacher, but help them step by step. Okay. I'll click Save here to save this question, and I now have 2 questions at the same spot in the video. Cool. Now I'm going to show you how you can add notes to your video. This is something like the text equivalent of the audio feature we saw earlier, the voiceover feature, a way for the teacher to easily insert some instructions or a reminder at exactly the right spot in the video. For example, I want my students to watch carefully, to take notes in order to be prepared for our next lesson. So first I'll scroll this question pen to the point where I want my note to appear in the video. Now I'll leave a note here by clicking in the text box on the right, and I will cut and paste my note, save it by clicking Save, same as before, and you will see that it appears inserted into the video at the spot you have chosen. Okay, now let me show you another feature of notes, which is to give additional text as a supplement or extension of your lesson. In this example, I will give some instructions to help students explore more about the life of Confucius. This will help them to extend their knowledge and to prepare for classwork and later homework activities. I have already prepared a biography for them to read, so now let me demonstrate how to link that document to this video episode. Let's start as before and drag the video pin icon to the point where I want to insert it. Here, near the end of the video, I'll put a note like I did before. But in this case, I want to ask my students to read a biography of Confucius. So I'll select the word here in my instructions and choose the URL link icon again, and then I will insert the link to the biography I've prepared by pasting it here. Before I save this note, let me show you something interesting. Notice this microphone icon here. By clicking this, you can leave an audio note, which is in some ways similar to the voiceover feature that we saw before. The difference is that voiceover will play your audio while the video continues to roll. But if you insert an audio note, as here, the video will be paused, which might encourage the students to pay attention before moving on. And you always have this option to present the information by speaking or by text. So I think that's very useful in teaching English. Okay, I'll do that now. Okay, class, that's the end of the video lesson on the life of Confucius. I hope the story was clear. If you didn't understand it, take time to re-watch the video carefully. Now, to dig a little deeper and learn more about the life of Confucius, read the short Confucius biography, which is linked above. Be sure to take careful notes. That's important to prepare for the classwork and homework activities that I'll be giving you later. Click the recording icon again, and the recording will stop and be saved here. You can listen to your recording by clicking the playback icon here. If you don't like that draft, you can simply delete it by clicking the trash bin icon as usual and have another go. But all right, I'm happy with the note and audio we have for this bit of feedback. So I'll click the Save button. Of course, if and when you use Edpuzzle regularly, converting a video to a lesson with all these features can be done very efficiently. All these controls are quite clear and intuitive and will become second nature. Now, on the left of the video, let's look again at our video overview, what Edpuzzle calls our video events. We can see that at the beginning we clipped the video, then we added a voiceover, 2 multiple choice questions, 2 open-ended questions, and also 2 notes. A little clip of your questions and notes text is included for you to navigate around easily. After we assign this video to students, they'll be able to listen to the voiceover and answer all those questions. Now that we're done with all the editing, questions, and notes, we'll just go to the top right corner here and click Finish. You'll see that we can then preview the video and to answer the questions ourselves if we like. Once you've prepared the video for your students and are happy with it, it's time to assign the video. This is how you get the video to your students and collect their participation and answers. To do that, find the Assign button in the top right here and click that. Now, if you've already created a class, which will usually be the case, you'll be able to assign it right here. But if you haven't yet created your class, as in our case, we'll have to add the class before assigning the video. Okay, to do that, find this Add New Class blue button here and click it. You'll see many popular learning management systems are integrated into Edpuzzle. And if you want to create a class with one of those, you can go for it. We're going to create a new class just directly here in Edpuzzle. You'll be prompted to give your class a name. For example, I could call it Class A. Then give it a description, choose the grade level, and finally the subject, which is pre-filled for you from when you created your Edpuzzle account. Okay, finally, you'll want to choose the class type, which is either Classic or Open. Classic simply means that students need to log in to their account, so any responses that they submit are recorded for your reference. You'll have all their participation and answers, and students will also be able to see their own responses and your feedback. So this is very practical and useful, of course. If you choose Open Class, however, students can join with a simple class code and no account is required. But the answers will not be linked to students. The advantages are to make the access easier with no login required, and to make answering perhaps less stressful. For example, if you want to use Edpuzzle to encourage practice or to just enjoy the video more and use it for revision rather than for graded homework or other assessment, it's totally up to you and your own objectives. I'm going to choose the Classic option so students' responses can be saved. Once ready, click Create Class, and voila, we now have our first class created in Edpuzzle. And we can now see it there on the left, and on the right here, once the class is selected, we can simply set the start date and the due date and even time for our Introducing Confucius video assignment. You can see that's really easy with these pop-up calendars, and it's up to you if you want to assign from today, or you can plan ahead for weeks or even months as to when the assignment appears to the students and how much time they'll have before it's due. Then click Save. Okay, but before we actually assign this video to our class, let me show you this very important option. This is actually another beloved feature of Edpuzzle. One of those, in addition to inserting questions and recording students' participation, that really distinguishes it from just showing videos to students from YouTube. So here you can choose the option of preventing skipping. This means that while the students are watching the video, they will not be able to skip ahead to avoid watching the whole video. That is, to complete the assignment, they have to watch the video from start to finish. If you toggle that off, which is an option, students can then scroll around back and forth. So, important point, with prevent skipping on, students can still move around the part of the video that they've already watched in case they want to go back and re-watch part of it. So it's very user-friendly. And then they can scroll back to the part they haven't seen yet, but not scroll ahead in that section. So very smart feature. Once we have chosen all of the settings we want, we click the magic blue button, Assign, to assign this homework to our students. You'll see here in our dashboard that we don't have any students or questions yet. Well, that's to be expected when you haven't yet invited students to join. So let's do that. First, click the Options 3 lines menu and scroll down to My Classes and choose Class A. You'll see the class window, including the assignment we just created. You'll see the menu options for class members and gradebook. But as it's a new class, we're looking at the Invite Students button. So click one of those Invite Members icons, and you'll see this pop-up window called Invite Your Students. At this point, you'll ask your students to go to edpuzzle.com and sign up if they haven't already, or sign in if they have. And they'll be prompted to enter the class code to join your class. If you have created an open class, by the way, they can just join that class directly without creating an account. Now, I'll wait for a couple students to join my class. If I refresh the page, I now have 2 students who have joined. As I have already assigned my Introducing Confucius video, let's wait for them to answer those questions. In the meantime, if you want to update the settings of a class at any time, you can go to the 3-dot icon here and make some changes. You can change the class name, description, grade level, and subject, all the settings we chose earlier when we created this class. But we can also lock the class from here, which means that no new students will be allowed to join, even if they have the class code. We can also archive the class once we're done teaching it, but we still want to retain the data. Or we can delete the class entirely. Now, I can see on the class dashboard that 2 students have submitted their responses for this assignment. Their names are there, and a progress bar showing what percentage of the video they've watched, and their grade would also be here. Now, if this assignment only had multiple choice questions, Edpuzzle would automatically do all of the marking for you and show their grade. However, remember, I've included a couple open-ended questions, so I'll have to do a bit of marking myself. So for now, the grade is blank. You can also see when the students have turned in their assignment, and if you click the 3 dots next to any student's name, you'll have the option of resetting their progress or unassigning it. When you're ready to view or grade the students' responses, just click their name, so I'll demo that. I can see that she has watched the whole video and answered all the questions. Obviously a very responsible student here. Her grade total does not appear yet, as there are those open-ended questions to mark. But we can see that she has 1 of 2 multiple choice questions right, and that she has spent 7 minutes on the assignment. And the date and time she handed it in is here. We can also see the number of times students watch each section of the video. For example, in this section, Gogo watched the video twice. Perhaps she encountered some difficulty. So keep that in mind. This is all useful data for the teacher. But to get her total grade, we have to mark the open-ended questions. So let's do that now. Scrolling down, we can see the responses for each question with the MCQs already marked automatically by Edpuzzle. We can also see her responses for the open-ended questions here. So we can either click on this red X or the green tick icon to award no points or full points, or you can award partial credit by typing the number of points you'd like to give here. Once again, another great feature, you can always leave individual feedback by clicking comment. To demo, I'll just type good job here and then click the blue comment button to save it. Quick reminder, remember that when we created the open-ended question, there was the option to allow students to submit an audio recording. Now, if any students chose that option, this is where you would see their answers, and that would appear in the form of a playback bar, and so you could simply click that and listen to the answers that the students recorded. Okay. When you're ready to navigate to the next student, you can click Previous Student or Next Student here. So in this case, when I go back to Benson Kwok, I can see that he only watched 10% of the video and answered 2 of the questions, 1 MCQ and 1 open-ended. So you can mark that 1 open-ended question. We've been looking at the method to mark students' assignments one by one, that is, one student at a time. But if you prefer to grade assignments question by question, which might be quite convenient sometimes, in that case, simply go to the menu here and click Questions next to Students, and you'll first see an overview of students' responses for all the MCQs auto-graded by Edpuzzle. To grade the open-ended questions, you can click this number of answers to grade, and you'll be taken to a grading panel showing the list of students' names and their answers grouped by each question. You also have this very handy Mark Ungraded as Correct button to grade them all right. You see that by marking the wrong answers first, and then just using that button Mark Ungraded as Correct, you'll save heaps of time. Okay, something we haven't talked about yet is the mode of assigning Edpuzzle videos. Up to this point, we're assuming that you'll assign a video for students to watch on their own as homework, for example, which is how many teachers use Edpuzzle. But what if you want to use Edpuzzle as a live activity in your classroom, or even during a synchronous online lesson? How would that work? Well, just check out the Live Mode button here beneath the video title and click that. This Live Mode button also appears when you assign a video to a class, so you have a couple of easy access ways of starting it. Just look for this Live Mode button. Once you have gone live, Edpuzzle will show you how many students have joined with their names all listed here. So when you're ready for them to begin, hit the blue Start button in the bottom right-hand corner. Of course, you can go through the whole video with your students from the start. But for the purpose of this demo, I'll just scroll forward to the section of the video that was a bit challenging for my students. So it's up to you. You may want to present the whole video live mode, or just use it for some revision or follow-up, allowing, for example, those students who couldn't get a particular difficult answer to try again with some support from you. So as we continue through the video, we have the option of showing an overview of the student responses here. And of course, to continue showing the video, just hit the continue button again. And you will click here to exit live mode. So that is a quick look at live mode, one of the many very useful tools for using videos to create engaging, relevant lessons, which at the same time allows you as the teacher easy access to student participation and evaluation data. So this is really one of the first-rate education apps available for teachers. And as of the time of this recording, all the features we've demoed here in this section are still free. So check it out. Add some videos, create some questions, assign them to your students, and you can get started with your simple eTeachers assignment. Check out the course info at eTeachers online or in the handbook for more details. I look forward to seeing your great Edpuzzle videos, and I'll see all of you eTeachers in the next section.